Cool. Good evening, everyone. This is Group 2. It will be Alexis, Carolina, Ashwini, and myself, Anirudh. We're going to be talking about AI and the leadership trends it has inspired in organizations today. I'm going to start off immediately and hand it over to Alexis to.
Yeah. So McKinsey 2024 study shows something striking. About 78% of leaders already use AI to guide their decisions. But here's the tension. 40% of the employees don't trust those same decisions because they feel the human touch is missing. At the same time, employees are adopting AI faster than expected. 30% use it daily for their key tasks. This shows the double edge of AI. It can be a powerful tool to process data, predict trends, and take over repetitive work. But if we rely too much on it, we risk losing the core leadership qualities such as trust, empathy, and judgment, as Kazus and Posner explain in the Leadership Challenge. Leadership isn't built on algorithm. It is built on people. And the real challenge isn't whether AI will change leadership, it's how we keep the human at the center while using AI's power. Next slide, please. So different leadership ideas give us some answers. Transformation leadership, for example, the first column, shows the power of inspiring people with vision, but warns that focusing only on efficiency can completely kill creativity. E-leadership highlights how AI can improve online communication, but it also reminds us that we can lose those casual human moments that build trust. And finally, last column, anti-social technical system theory makes it clear for everyone. People and technology must work together. Leaders today need to ensure AI supports human skills and is used fairly. In other words, leading with AI means combining inspiration, fairness, and smart use of tech, so we don't just get efficiency, but also creativity and a real connection. AI's impact isn't straightforward. It can repeat biases from society on companies, leading to serious mistakes. Trust is the key issue. Employees will reject AI's decision if they don't understand them. Over-reliance is another risk that leader should be aware of, and they could lose judgment, empathy, and moral sense, all essential for trust. AI should support human leadership, not replace it. Different voices give us useful perspective. So, for instance, Anirudh believes that middle managers are best placed to build trust in AI because they interact with teams every day. Carolina reminds us that AI isn't only for tech experts, but it can be also for HR or everyday tasks, as long as it respects your values. And Ashwini finally stresses the importance of leaders creating safe space where people can experiment and adapt as technology evolves. Next slide, please. So let's move on to the first case study, Johnson & Johnson. So they began with nearly 900 AI projects, but quickly focused on the one with the biggest impact. This is a really good example. They gave teams the freedom to run their own initiative, combining technology with strong leadership. This shows success comes from empowering people, not just using tools. Looking at their project map, the top right quadrant highlights high-value, fully supported projects like REP Copilot and AI for clinical trials. Other quadrants that you can see on this slide show experiments with low impact or adoption, revealing what didn't work and the lesson learned from that. These cases prove a key lessons. Successful AI isn't just about the technology, it depends on the leadership. team engagement, and also finally ethical use. So now I'm going to let you with the other case studies that we prepared.
Okay. So the next case study that we'll be looking at is the Mayo Clinic case study, where they have used AI in healthcare diagnostics. So as we all are aware that the Mayo Clinic is one of the leading healthcare providers in the United States of America, and they have provided this integration as a strong example of AI leadership. The implementation of AI in radiology and cardiology has improved diagnostics and patient care in the United States of America. The models that they developed have helped in developing subtle patterns in imaging and clinical data, and they have assisted doctors in diagnosing conditions much earlier than they would take through human interference. The success of it has been quite significant as the AI has allowed earlier prediction and detection of heart diseases, which has improved preventive care. It has also helped in reducing errors and enhanced diagnostics and accuracy in radiology. There has also been a significant collaboration between clinicians, data scientists, and IT experts, which has strengthened overall and shown us how leadership can be implemented by utilizing AI in our daily life. While there were certain successes, there are always challenges and lessons to be learned. So the first thing that the challenge that was faced was the transparency and explainability, which was essential in building up a clinical trust between all the stakeholders in this project. Also, integrating AI into existing workflows requires careful buy-ins by all stakeholders, and it has to be verified so that all technicians are able to give the best clinical results. So the takeaway from this case study is how AI, when combined with responsible leadership and governance and strong partnerships, can transform healthcare delivery in the United States. The next case study that we'll be looking at is the John Deere company, which is actually a farming equipment manufacturer in the United States. And they have been a key pioneer in agriculture. The shift of the company began with the acquisition of a company called Blue River Technology, where they've brought advanced artificial intelligence into their equipment manufacturing system. They have been able to implement key technologies, which has actually helped the AI in differentiating what were weeds and what were crops in real time, helping them prevent herbicides and reducing waste. Beyond that, the company has built a connected ecosystem which combines different sensors, satellite data, and predicts key analysis, which is providing farmers with real-time insights. The importance of leadership in this analysis case study was that it has repositioned the company from being just a machinery producer to something which is more of a smart farming platform, when other farmers are also invested in the company. The results have been impressive, and the company has been able to reduce herbicide up to 90%. This shows how precision planning and improvement and implementing of AI into key sectors can be done with careful administration of the same. What the company has been able to learn is that embedding AI into existing workflows requires trust and adoption, as we've learned in Causes and Personal Leadership Challenge. Also, building an ecosystem of hardware. Building an ecosystem of hardware has resulted into building a sustainable business tool, which requires key input for all team members. The overall takeaway from this case study that we have is that AI can modernize traditional industries by showing how practically it can be implemented, and that innovation can be delivered in a real world impact. I would like to now transfer key points to Carolina.
Thank you. And I'll be talking about prediction. So I wanted to start with prediction as augmented leadership roles. So AI is not replacing leaders. It's becoming a decision support partner. We've already seen it at Mayo Clinic, where AI-assisted diagnostics improved accuracy while clinicians kept the final say. Johnson & Johnson showed how copilots streamlined sales and recruitment, but still required strong oversight. The challenge is over-reliance. leaders must interpret AI's insight, not blindly accept them. By 2030, the leaders who succeed will balance digital fluency and emotional intelligence, combining the precision of machines with the empathy and vision only human can provide. Next slide, please. When it comes to trust and governance as a core leadership responsibilities, we want to talk about leadership in the AI era is not just about strategy. It's about stewardship. At Mayo Clinic, governance boards created trust by validating AI. Johnson & Johnson's project succeeded when oversight was strong, but failed when accountability was missing. The future will hold even greater challenges: bias, fairness, and even global regulations. Leaders will be judged by how well they govern AI responsibly, not just by financial performance, but also responsible governance will become a core measure of leadership effectiveness. Next slide, please. When it comes to human AI collaborative ecosystems, the future of leadership is about orchestrating hybrid ecosystem where humans and AI work together. At Mayo Clinic, collaboration among doctors, IT teams, and data scientists made AI successful. At Johnson & Johnson, co-pilots only scaled when paired with empowered human teams. Without clarity, AI adoption risks becoming fragmented and uneven. Tomorrow's leadership and leaders must act as conductors, bringing out the best in both humans and machines. Those who see AI as collaborator, not just a tool, will unlock innovation and resilience. Next slide, please. Redefining leadership value. As AI saturates organizations, leadership will shift from controlling information to framing meaning and purpose. At Mayo, patients trusted leaders who explained AI role and context. At Johnson & Johnson, adoption was strongest when leaders clearly communicated the value of AI. The challenge is avoiding a human disconnect in data-heavy environments. Future leaders will thrive by humanizing technology, anchoring it in trust, ethics, vision, and reminding people that behind every algorithm is a human story. And now I want to pass it.
Thank you so much, Carolina. Wonderful. I'll be elaborating more on team leadership implications of AI implementation. Firstly, towards leadership development. For the majority of our history, leadership has followed a command and control methodology, which, with the implementation of AI, has now transgressed to a more of an empowerment mentality. What this means is the digital context forces a shift where makes micromanaging essentially ineffective. By empowering employees on a base level, what you do as a consequence is increase accountability and transparency. It is harder to assign blame to management on account of increased autonomy. That is the plus side of it from a management perspective. Now, what this also forces leaders to do is they must actively seek to make relationship with employees over a digital medium. Earlier, it was the physical proximity that forced that engagement and that relation. However, with that not being the case, that intentional development of relationship causes a much more interpersonal relationship. Now, moving on to the strategies for adapting. Organizational preparedness and strategies for adapting are sort of intertwined. Now, the base concept of the strategy would be to be adaptive as an organization. With the digital age where it is right now, trends tend to change rather aggressively and on a very elevated timeline as well. Embracing rapid changes and learning from failure and experimentation will be key components in this approach. A major factor of this would be also changing to adopting a human-centered and empathetic leadership role, where a good leader in this modern context would actively address emotional well-being and the overall lifestyle of the employee. Because now that we have delved into people's homes and their personal lives over the digital medium, we have come to understand that it takes a lot more sensitivity and a lot more work to navigate through daily life challenges. Life has become much more uh, elaborate in its openness with each other. Now, with the implementation of AI, a very key component is data driven decision making. As we were discussing in the Mayo case study, preemptive care has become a thing of ease, and it makes it very easy to basically cut out the middleman and take away a lot of the time that would be spent in diagnosing by introducing an intelligent first step. Now, leaders operating in this digital context must learn to make informed decisions while taking into account the implications of AI implementations. Some of the key challenges for the organization in terms of preparedness would be cultural resistance. This would be from both ends, at the bottom level and on the top leadership as well. Uh, Old leadership tends to stick to their methods because they have worked for the longest time and would like to keep it so. However, for the base level as well, if things have worked, why change it now? And which introduces another problem of skill gaps, where employees that have been in the workforce for years together are lacking the skills to deal with the modern world and the digital literacy that is required to navigate today's competitive environment. Traditional hierarchy in organizations still enforce a command and control type of methodology just because of their structure, which inherently contradicts the autonomy that the AI implementation is trying to bring about in modern organizations. And lastly, and this is the most key factor of it all, safety concerns. We are all worried about who has our data and who doesn't. And at this point, everybody does. And that is the key concept of the core of my argument for security concerns for any organizations for that fact. Strategies for building preparedness in this instance would be to prioritize leadership development in the first place, mostly because leaders, the word implies that they've been in the workforce for a longer period of time. That means they are from a time where the digital age was a thing of the future and majorly seen in sci-fi movies. Now it is here and it is actively taking over the world. Hence, that skill gap needs to be covered on the leadership end of it, because the new workforce is coming equipped with it. And the human centric approach, technology is a tool to empower. It is key to remember that technology is not meant to replace people, as Carolina was talking about it as well. And this is more so seen in my industry. I work in hospitality, where sometimes people tend to forget that the human factor plays a very, very important role, which is why luxury hospitality organizations still tend to stick to the old approach and try to embrace the AI implementations in their actual operations as opposed to replacing human touch. Passing it off to
Now we will discuss about how our team collaborated on this presentation. So we had a shared vision. We were able to define a common research ground and direction for our research, and then we utilized different aspects about our leadership strategic dimensions, and that is how we ensured cohesion. The next thing that we utilized was transparent communication. We use real-time messaging apps like WhatsApp and Google Meet to maintain an alignment in what our objectives were, what were our research goals, and shared updates with each other as team members to clarify what roles we each had. The next task that we had was strength-based task allocation. We had a democratic process in choosing what topics each team member would be working upon and what they felt they had the strongest expertise on. We collaborated all of these expertise to ensure that a single presentation could come together. We ensure that diverse perspectives of different team members did not disturb the outcome of this presentation. And we ensured that whatever scheduling conflicts that we have, as most of our team members are currently staying in different time zones. So we were able to ensure that the workflow continued smoothly, irrespective of whatever time zones we are, as we were accommodative to each other's needs. Also, as we are 4 different members, we all have different varied writing styles and a voice. We ensured that there was cohesion in this research and the final presentation so that all of the objectives outlined in the topic have come together to give you this presentation. The last key takeaways we have from this AI leadership team collaboration was that structure does enhance innovation. So given a defined role and having checkpoints with each other and having a shared tool space as we utilized a Google PowerPoint presentation in presenting this topic, it actually helped in our creativity and talking to each other about each other's roles. We also had a clear communication, which actually prevented misalignment in our project. So we had an open dialogue and shared our concerns with each other and documented everything. So there was reduction in ambiguity and ensured collective ownership of this presentation. We saw that diversity actually drives a richer outcome as we, as a team member, are coming from different perspectives and different backgrounds. As Carolina comes from a biotech industry, Alexis is an engineer, Anirudh works in the hospitality industry, and myself, I come from a legal background. So we all have multidimensional aspects which we collaborated into giving this presentation. And finally, as Cousins and Posner have said in their leadership channel, that shared ownership actually encourages accountability. We each team member felt invested in this project and the outcome of it. So we all worked hard to promote the quality and ensure that we were each equally responsible for this project. Now I would like to ask all my team members to come and contribute about how they went about in their research for this project. Alexis, I would like you to start off.
Yeah, sure. So on my side, regarding the findings, I realized that I didn't expect that leaders are much more impacted by AI than I expected. And it doesn't just help with a small task, it can be useful for everything. And it actually changes the way decisions are made. Regarding my forecast also for the future, I would say that I believe that AI agent will also completely change and transform the way we work and the way we discuss and manage others. They will do most of the thinking and comparing for us. And for me, humans will mainly make the final choice. So this could make decisions faster and also raises big questions in terms of ethic and the way we live our lives and work together.
Thank you.
So,
Carolina, would you like to give your insight into the project?
Yes, I listed the sources that I was using, but at the same time, similarly to Alexis, I found some information very surprising. For example, like what stood out for me was exploring the case studies and predictions is how much leadership remains human as its core, even in the age of AI, because I feel there's a little bit of misconception right now and a lot of fear that AI is going to take over our jobs, but we kind of forget that I expected AI to dominate the conversation around, efficiency and automation, but what surprised me the most, it was the fact that leaders' ability to govern the responsibility to communicate its value and to keep people at its center. And from Mayo Clinic perspective and from Mayo Clinic case, I didn't expect how strongly governance and trust shaped adoption. And from Johnson & Johnson, I was surprised by how projects only thrived when leaders created buy-in and empowered teams, showing that AI succeeds only when humans succeeds as well. So it's always correlated.
Anirudh, would you want to share your contribution?
Absolutely. In hopes of keeping true to time, I'll make this quick. All in all, it was a collaborative effort. The democratic approach really helped my investment into the project and made me feel very responsible for the outcome. Overall, and I hope our investment as a team comes across. And that will be all for today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Perfect.